So why aren't launch times on a mission strike classified?
Again, I would defer you to the Secretary of Defense's statement he put out this morning. There were various reasons he listed, things that were not included in that messaging thread that were not classified. And again, going back to the American public, do you trust the Secretary of Defense, who was nominated for this role, voted by the United States Senate into this role, who has served in combat, honorably served our nation in uniform? Or do you trust Jeffrey Goldberg, who is a registered Democrat and an anti-Trump sensationalist reporter?
Growing up, my mom always said, if you have to go to making insults about somebody, you probably made a mistake. So I don't know why the Trump administration won't just apologize, accept responsibility, and let this story die. They're purposely making themselves look worse, which only highlights the incompetence within the administration. Because whoever thought this was the plan really messed up. Because there's going to be the story for I don't know how much longer, but it's going to be at least until the end of the week, by my estimations. And you can see they're trying to switch the narrative because already today we have Donald Trump saying he's going to put up more tariffs. We already know what's going to happen whenever he says that. The market falls some, and that's news for a couple days. Well, sir, I don't know what you think's about to go on, but nothing is bigger news than our national security secrets almost being in the hands of our enemies. Because let's just be honest, y'all didn't know the reporter was on there. If it was not for the reporter, the American people and all of your principled high cabinet people would not have known the difference. Now, I always just want to make sure that I'm giving a fair assessment of what's going on, but we can't act like Tulsi Gabbard did not just say this yesterday.
Contact the defense secretary or others after this specific military planning was put out and say, hey, we should be doing this in a skiff?
There was no classified material that was shared in that.
So then if there were no
check.
classified material, share it with the committee.
And that is exactly what happened. You poked the bear. You said it was not any classified sensitive material. We now know that is a lie. Not only was it a lie, you lied under oath in Congress. That is an impeachable offense. Like, you do realize that, right? Like, you blatantly lied. Now, this was heard today in the House Intel Committee about these exact same text messages she forgot and said there was no classified information, no pertinent information, no information that could have endangered any American heroes or soldiers' lives.
Director Gabbard, I want to direct your attention again to the text chain where it says, just confirmed with CENTCOM, we are a go for mission launch. Does that indicate to you that there is about to be a military operation?
Yes.
Director Gabbard, earlier in this hearing, we heard about the DoD's classification standards. I want to now turn my attention to your classification standards. You're the Director of National Intelligence. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence classification guide says, quote, information providing indication or advance warning that the U.S. or its allies are preparing for an attack, end quote, is to be classified as top secret. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Director Gabbard, have the Houthis indicated an ability to shoot down American aircraft?
Yes.
They have in fact done so, haven't they?
Yes.
Including MQ-9 Reapers, haven't they?
That's correct.
And that was one of the systems used in the attack recently that's the subject of this discussion, is it not?
Correct.
So, just to clarify, they have the ability to shoot our planes out of the sky. And you're saying that the text messages that were exchanged with a reporter you did not even know was a reporter inside of the chat because you joined a chat with 19 members, did not look through all the members, and y'all had a conversation. You could have killed our service members. I'll give her this grace. She has acknowledged that there's a mistake, but she's not taking any accountability. She's saying it's Pete Hegseth. And do you want to know how he's reacting?
This is what we're here to do. Nobody's texting war plans. Well, I noticed this morning out came something that doesn't look like war plans. And as a matter of fact, they even changed the title to attack plans because they know it's not war plans. There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information. You know who
I say thou protests way too much because he did the reporter because they kept saying this was not classified information. This is information anybody could have. This would not have done anything to stop this attack from going the way it needed to go if it was let out hours earlier. So he dropped the receipts. And as a reporter, you know the receipts were juicy. And no offense, before we even start reading these receipts, if you're talking about semantics, war plans, attack plans, you already lost the argument. So we're going to look at the text messages from CNN, mainly because Atlantis has the text messages behind a paywall. It's about $80. I don't read the magazine enough to spend that money, if you understand what I'm saying. And these are still the text messages. So we see here, added by Michael Watts. Elon is not really, you don't really got to do much digging. It looks like he was added to the group. I mean, that the investigation has been wrapped up. That was pretty quick. But Michael Walt's team establishing a principals group for coordination on Houthis, particularly over the next 72 hours. My deputy Alex Wong is putting together a tiger team at deputy / agencies, chiefs of staffs levels, following up for meetings in the sit room this morning for action items, and we'll be sending that out later this evening. Please provide the best staff POC from your team for us to coordinate with over the next couple days and over the weekend. So yeah, as you can see, you can see in yourself and look at these. It's free, so it's easily accessible. But you can see people are responding, people are responding, people are responding. You never got a response for that other person that you add to the group. That might have been some indication. However, like I said, they got DEI out of the government, and they put people in there based off of merit. Yeah, doesn't look like it. So they're just going, they're just going, they're just messaging. They never got a response from that elusive extra person they put in that group, but just talking, 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 gossiping like some hens. Like, gossiping like some hens. But this is the part that we really need to get to. Going down, Pete Hegseth. Now, this is the guy who is supposed to be the Secretary of Defense, the most important person who runs our Pentagon, who's supposed to be keeping us safe, just giving up all the information. Agree. Team update. Time now. 11:44 Eastern Time. Weather is favorable. Just confirmed with setcomps. We are a go for mission launch. F-18 to launch first strike package. This is going to happen at 12:15 ET. 13:45. Trigger base. F-18 first strike window starts. Target carriers at his known location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch MQ-9S. I will be honest. I've never been someone who's joined the military. I would have to look up all this information. The problem is, me as a civilian should not have the ability to have this information to look up to begin with. I should not have to be worrying about this. I should not be having to worry about text messages leaking because my Secretary of Defense does not understand how to have a closed door conversation and keep it away from the civilians. You're getting paid our tax dollars so that I don't have to worry about my safety. Why am I worrying about my safety? I didn't vote for him. I'm part of the 92%. But, bam, keep us safe. That is your job. And he has the nerve to say, none of this was classified. This seems very much classified to me. Strike drones on target. This is when the first bombs will definitely drop, pinging earlier trigger-based targets. F-18 second strike starts also first C-bomb Tomahawks launch. More to follow per timeline. This is a timeline you gave hours in advance. I will say a prayer for victory. Trade advance with those damn prayer hands. Now, he sent this out very early. It seems like these came back to back to back. Because this is 9:35, one in exchange, agreed 9:46 a.m., another exchange. This is 19 minutes, so I guess 19 minutes after that exchange. And then this is 12:13, prayer hand. So none of this stuff has happened yet. He's giving the enemy our information ahead of time. None of this has happened yet. Our men in the military, our women in the military, our people, our family, our loved ones, our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our grandparents, our uncles, our aunts, they could have died during this mission because he wants to be so quick and fast, like his boss. Chopping at the government at the behest of a billionaire who will never understand. He's not even an American citizen. Like, I thought y'all didn't like immigrants. You have a South African telling you what to chop in the American government, and this is what happens. Where were the people that were supposed to be telling these people, yo, this is not the conversation and this is not the platform? They're fired. That is the fucking problem now. But there they're going, typing too fast. Excellent, great job, Pete. Da 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 da. Hens. Kudos, kudos, kudos. This is hours later. Hours later. Please tell me this was not national security secrets. Please tell me. Nobody will be able to convince me of that. But of course, denial, denial, denial. That is all the Trump administration knows. They don't understand accountability. They don't understand that we regular people, we just want to be safe. We want our gas prices to be low. We want our egg prices to be low. We want to be able to afford a home. We want to be able to go to sleep knowing that the people that are supposed to be doing their jobs in his cabinet positions, especially the job of keeping the American military men that are cross seas safe, are doing that motherfucking job, and they can't do that. So, y'all tell me what y'all think about this in the comments. Because, like, what more do we need to see? What more do we need to see? We've already heard from the press secretary, who is the president's spokeswoman, who thinks that nothing that happened is wrong. We heard from Secretary Pete Hegseth, who said that nothing he did was wrong. We've heard from Gabbard, who says that, yes, this looks a certain type of way, but guess what? This has nothing to do with me. This is Pete Hegseth, because guess what? He shared the information. I'm just gonna, be in here and look. I'm not gonna say anything, even though my department, we wouldn't share this information. However, his department did, and since he wants to do that, that's what he can do. So no accountability, nobody checking the other person. Y'all, this is 2 months. This is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And we can only pray. Because Republicans keep thinking that we want this administration to fail. I don't want Donald Trump to fail. I want him to succeed. You know why I want him to succeed? Because America succeeds when he succeeds. But it has been shown time and time again that Republicans don't care about America. Their platform, America First, is false. It's billionaires first, it's oligarchs first, and it's everybody else second or last. But y'all tell me what y'all think about this in the comments. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you watched this video all the way through, you are fucking awesome. If you didn't, thank you for at least trying to check me out. I appreciate it. But like I said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.